After the latest episode of Alien Earth, I couldn't help but fixate on Boy Cavalier's curious choice of words. He didn't say pi is something smart critters know, he didn't even go with sapient or intelligent, no. He proclaimed that pi is a hallmark of advanced civilizations. That's deliberate phrasing and it got my conspiracy antenna twitching. Why advanced? Why not something simpler? Maybe Cavalier was just being, well, cavalier with definitions, but I doubt it, because here's the kicker. Even if T. Ocellus had decades aboard the Maginot to soak up symbols or spelunk through Schumpeter's brain for a crash course in algebra, it still needed the conceptual framework to understand the question at all. And maths at that level doesn't grow in isolation, it grows out of societies, cultures that have been stacking knowledge for centuries, which means T. Ocellus isn't just freeloading, it's carrying the intellectual luggage of a civilization. But before we dive too deep into speculative alien anthropology, pause for station identification. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, drop your favorite alien Earth monster in the comments, and hey, if you're feeling especially legendary, consider joining the channel membership for bonus theories and exclusive content. Alright, commercial over, back to the monster with way too many eyes. So, here's my theory. T. Ocellus is a species that evolved specifically to parasitize intelligent beings, piggybacking on their hosts while vicariously experiencing its own culture. They're not just parasites, they're cultural hitchhikers borrowing bodies the way you and I might borrow Wi-Fi. Horror sci-fi has flirted with this idea before. In Lovecraft's The Shadow Out of Time, the great race of Yith cheats extinction by body swapping into other species across millennia, basically Airbnb-ing their way through history. Creepy, but clever. Then there are the Kaldanes from Edgar Rice Burroughs' Chessmen of Mars. Tiny spider-legged heads who custom-bred a race of headless Martian gophers just so they could plug themselves in and walk around like regular people. Imagine the HOA meetings in that neighborhood. Now think about how T. Ocellus operates on the show. Shmuel, boom, instant competence. The eye takes over and suddenly it's throwing down with a xenomorph like it's been training at UFC Fight Night. But when it jumps into a sheep or cat, total disaster. Wobbly, clumsy, like someone trying VR for the first time. The telling detail is the sheep. It immediately tries to stand upright and use its front legs like arms before realizing, oh shit, wrong chassis. It clearly wants humanoid bodies, which suggests its original host species was bipedal, dexterous, and already wired for intelligence. Engineers, Arcturians, predators, or maybe something we haven't even seen yet. But here's the fun part. What if T. Ocellus doesn't always freeload? Maybe in its natural state it has a designated host species that benefits from the relationship. A creepy symbiosis like the Kaldanes and their Martian meat puppets. Only in emergencies does it turn on parasitic. Alternatively, maybe it's worse. Maybe they're an invasive infiltrator creeping into civilizations one host at a time until suddenly everyone's running around on borrowed brains. Think Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but sneakier and with a maths fetish. And if that's true, forget xenomorphs. At least with those guys you know when you've got a problem. Acid blood and facehugger nightmares are hard to miss. T. Ocellus, they could waltz onto Earth, slide into your neighbors, your co-workers, maybe even your favorite YouTubers, and no one would notice until everyone suddenly starts solving differential equations at dinner parties. Now that's horror. So maybe the real twist isn't just what T. Ocellus is, but what it represents. The ultimate quiet apocalypse. Not fire, not brimstone, not chestbursters, just an alien species slowly rewriting our culture from the inside out until one day we wake up and realize, oops, we're not driving anymore. And honestly, that might be the scariest fate of all.